This past Monday, the Andover community celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day through an all-school meeting and various grade-specific programming. Uppers and seniors participated in student-led workshops exploring topics ranging from the LGBTQ+ community to climate change, all centered around the theme of justice. Here are live reporters Jake Jordan and Remy D. St. Phalle with the story.
Thanks, Alex. Choosing from a diverse array of options, upperclassmen were placed in various workshops hosted by their fellow peers. The workshops provided a platform for learning and open discussion, allowing for students to develop deeper understandings of certain facts of identity and the systems of oppression that exist in today's society. Skylar Zhu hosted a workshop titled Stronger Together, a history of coalition in civil rights movement.
So we kind of had both. We had lectures and we also had discussions. We talked about the process of racialization, including racial triangulation, and we also used LA riots as an event, as an example of examining the racial reality in America, which is not binary, which is multiracial. So we actually split everyone into 3 groups and gave them documents to read and had them share what each document was about to the rest of the larger group.
While Zhu's workshop mainly focused on examining past collaborative efforts between minority groups, Peter Wu, 22, hosted a workshop on how to get along with others in this present day. Titled Culture and Bridge Building, Wu hopes that his workshops gave students the opportunity to reflect on the influence society had on their identities.
We presented the students with a Milton Bennett model, which is a spectrum of concepts that has, it's a cultural model the students will learn about, okay? And then we did a little bit of an activity, which is called the Culture Spectrum Walk. So, for example, one of the topics we gave was confrontation. And if you have a high level of confrontation, say, you go to a restaurant and you get the wrong plate of food and you would go up to the waiter and ask for a new one, that means you have a high level of confrontation. And that means you would go to one side of the room, whereas people who have low level confrontation will go to the other side. And then we have a discussion about, why that is, based on our background. Why do we have different levels of confrontation?
A member of the Brace Student Board, Emma Slabbeck, class of 20, was involved with 2 workshops titled Deconstructing Rape Myths and From Lone Ranger to Elizabeth Warren, Indigenous Misrepresentations and Settler Colonialism. She chose on these topics because she believes that today, at Andover especially, people are not adequately informed about these important issues.
In the second workshop on settler colonialism and misrepresentation, I was really inspired by 2 main people. So Dr. Kimberly Tallbear and Dr. Adrienne Keene, who are both just like amazing, badass Indigenous feminists. And I was introduced to both of them last year. Their work has changed my life. It has changed the way I kind of even interact with the world. And I really wanted to share this narrative because we do not talk about Indigenous issues enough, and we don't talk about misrepresentation or we don't talk about land acknowledgements, and I don't think people really know what the term settler colonialism really is and how much it affects Indigenous people today.
Maya Skolnick, class of 21, had similar reasons for her choice of topic for her MLK Day workshop.
Yeah, so I'm also running one about prison and mass incarceration. I think that one directly challenges, just societal norms, and especially it's also another topic that we don't talk about at Andover that much. I think that is a big one for justice this year, especially on MLK Day, especially with our speaker today.
Flavia Vidal explains that all faculty were expected to attend the all-school meeting in one of the workshops.
So all adults are expected to engage with the day in some way. So people are expected to go to the all-school meeting and to participate in one workshop. There were a few workshops done specifically for adults. A lot of us, of course, work with students in the workshops that they put together. So a lot of us are busy with that as well.
Prior to the workshops, Nikki Giovanni, an American poet and activist, delivered a speech in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. to the Andover community during the all-school meeting.
Tying anecdotes of her personal life to the theme of justice, Giovanni expressed her opinions on many controversial topics such as suicide, adoption, and divorce. Students weigh in.
I loved her imagery with the bats and then the umbilical cord. I think it's a really good message. You don't have to change the world. There's so many of us that are just bats and mice, but we still also contribute, We take the umbilical cord away from the farm.
I know a lot of people, me as well, that are going through, hard times in winter. It's cold, a lot of studies, a lot of personal emotional stuff. And I really think that her speech motivated me to, continue this Andover journey.
I think it was definitely a very different ASM than we usually have. I think I enjoyed how genuine she was. I was talking to Em Martin about how I used to work at a senior center, and it sort of felt like talking to some of the people there who just sort of have, it's really interesting to see how people who have lived through very different things than I've lived through sort of react to the world around them.
I really liked how she was able to resonate with a lot of people. I would say everyone. She was able to reach people in different ways and touch people like her grandmother would. And I think that was one of the things that was so magical or powerful about her speech, was that it was universal.
For more coverage of the ASM and MLK workshops, check out this week's paper and online at Phillipian.net. Jake Jordan,
Remy D. St. Phalle,
reporting.